Hello, my first, second, and third block classes. This is your first homework assignment, so hopefully you're viewing this from home right now, and you have your guide sheet in front of you. You're ready to take some notes and be ready for class tomorrow. I'll try and make this as quick and painless as possible. This is lesson 1-4 in our book, and we're going to talk about breaking apart facts. And the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to breaking apart facts and what that means is it's when we take a big multiplication problem and we break it into two smaller problems so it's easier to solve. Now, the easiest way to solve these problems will always be to just memorize the facts, and we're working on that in class. But it's going to be a little while before we get to the higher numbers. So if you don't have all of those facts memorized, the distributive property that we're going to learn about today is a good alternative to figuring out how to solve these multiplication problems. Now, we've talked a lot about properties. We've talked about the zero property, the identity property, and we've also talked about the commutative property. Well, the distributive property is a new one, and it's the only one we're going to learn today. I'm not going to give you three in one day again. The distributive property is when you break apart a problem into two simpler problems. So we distribute the bulk of the problem to two smaller problems. Let's get to our first slide, or our second slide. The first problem we're given is Darnell is replacing the wheels on 8 skateboards. Each skateboard has 4 wheels. How many wheels does he need in all? So, we know he has 8 skateboards, and each skateboard has 4 wheels, so he needs to replace 8 boards and 4 wheels on each, so 8 times 4. So we need to break apart 8 into 2 groups of 4. Or we can also do, we can do 2 groups of 4, we can do a group of 3 and a group of 5, or we can do a group of 2 and a group of 6. So we're going to focus on 2 of those. We're going to do the group of 3 and the group of 5 first. So, instead of saying 8 times 4, we're going to say 4 times 3 and 4 times 5. So 8 times 4 can equal 3 times 4 from up here. That's going to go right to that spot. And 5 times 4. So instead of just saying 8 times 4, an alternate way using the distributive property is to say 3 times 4 plus 5 times 4 is the same as 8 times 4, because 3 plus 5 both equal 8. So, when we multiply 3 times 4, that's going to give us 12. I also have this little graph over here, 3 groups of 4. You can count those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 plus 5 times 4, 5 times 4 equals 20. And if you want to count all those, you can. There's 20 of them. So 12 plus 20 equals 32. So we know by using the distributive property that 4 times 8 equals 32. Now, I know some of you already know this multiplication facts of your 8s, and that's great, but you also need to learn the distributive property, because that will also come in handy when you're dealing with really, really big multiplication problems, not just ones dealing with 8. So I'll give you a second to look at this. Pause it if you need to. I'm going to keep going. So instead of saying 8 is 3 plus 5, we can also say, in an alternate way, is 8 is 2 plus 6. That's another way to get it. And then there's another way. You can do 4 plus 4 or 1 plus 7, whatever you want. But we're trying to break it into 2 groups that maybe you know the multiplication tables of. So 2 groups of 4 this time. So 8 times 4 equals 2 times 4 plus 6 times 4. And as we know, 8 times 4 is already 32, but if we want to break it up into an easier piece, 2 times 4 is 8, and 6 times 4 is 24. When we take 8 plus 24, we're going to get 32. So Darnell needs 32 wheels in all. So the distributive property, we're taking a number we know, like 8, and we're finding 2 numbers that add up to 8, and then we're multiplying 4 by those, since he needs 4 new wheels on each of his skateboards. So 2 times 4 plus 6 times 4 equals 8 plus 24, and that equals 32. If you need to pause this and take a look, I know this is a little more difficult level of math that we've done compared to the rest so far, but hopefully this is kind of building on itself and you can kind of relate this to some of the stuff we've already done in class. Now, do realize if this is confusing to you, that's okay. I have a few more examples, but also you can come into class tomorrow with any of your questions and we'll go over it. So let's do a few more examples and see if that clears up any confusion you might still have. So another example is 6 times 8. I'm going to break up 8 again. This time, I'm going to use 6 times 4, and since I'm using 4 right here, I'm filling in the blank. So 4 plus 4 equals 8, and I know that 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 4 is still 24. And if you have a little trouble doing the addition in your head, just write off to the side. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 6 times 8 is 48, or 24 plus 24 is 48. All right, let's go on to another one, and then you have one on your own to do and bring in for me tomorrow. 4 times 9. All right, we know that 4 times 5 is 20, but what 5 plus what will give me 9? So 5 plus, think about it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 more will give me 9. So 4 times 5 is 20. That's going to go right there. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Now we're left with 20 plus 16 equals 0 plus 6 is 6, 2 plus 1 is 3, 20 plus 16, or 4 times 9 equals 36. All right, there's a couple examples for you. On this next example, you're going to do this one on your own. It's 4 times 7, so we split 7 into a 3 and another number. So you have to ask yourself, what plus 3 equals 7, and that goes in the blank. Then find out 4 times 3 goes right here. 4 times that mystery number goes right here. And when you add them together, it's going to give you the same answer as 4 times 7. Once again, this is the distributive property. These are the examples. I want you to bring this third one in on your own as well. Fill in your guide. If you have any questions, just ask for any help tomorrow. Do your very best on this last problem. I know you can do it. And I will see you all in class. Have a good day.